Lots of folks out there, particularly online survey software companies, will give you free survey templates. Well, that seems like a great idea, but the problem is those templates can cost you thousands and thousands of dollars down the line. Worse yet, they can cost you your most valuable asset, your customers. Today, we're going to show you how to spot a bad template that could cost you money so you won't make this costly mistake. We're going to show you in detail 4 major problems with a survey template from what's probably one of the biggest online survey software companies out there, one that thousands and thousands of people use every day. We're going to show you why these things are problems so you can spot them up front and so you can do surveys that will get you the information you need to make money instead of alienating your customers. Now, let's look at this template. Again, it's from one of the biggest survey software companies out there. It's a B2B template, and you might very well just pick this template up and send it out to your customers. But let me give you a piece of advice. I'm a PhD survey specialist, and I can tell you right now that that's not a good idea because this just isn't a very good survey. Here are the 5 major problems with this template. First of all, there's no introduction. They don't start the survey off well. It's a problem in 2 ways. There's nothing here to engage the respondent, to the customer, to tell them what it's all about. There's nothing to start a conversation with the customer, and that's how you want your survey to feel to the customer. You want it to be a dialogue, a conversation, much like the conversation you have in social media. The other issue here about how they start the survey is they're starting off with demographics, with the information about the customer. I see lots and lots of people do that, and it's a really bad idea. Demographics, particularly when you start asking about things like age or education, here they're asking about your organization, your name, your title. Demographics are boring, they're intrusive, they're personal. It's not how you want to start off the survey. The demographics should come at the end of the survey, not the beginning. You know, I gave a talk at a seminar last summer, and I gave this tip to the folks who were there. I went back this summer to that same seminar, and one of the guys who was in the audience last summer came up to me and said, you know, I gave that tip to some of my friends who do surveys. They started putting their demographics at the end, and their response rates went up dramatically. So this is something that really, really works. Problem number 2 with this template, the next question is about the business, not about the customer. The next question is, how did you hear about us? Again, we want this whole first section of the survey to be about them, not the demographic stuff, but stuff that will interest them, that will engage them. The first part of the survey needs to be all about them. It needs to be fun, and it needs to make them want to give us information like this later in the survey that will help us make more money. Problem number 3 with this template, it uses what we call double-barreled questions. Now, that sounds fancy, but it's actually really simple. A double-barreled question is when you pile 2 questions into one. Look at this question that says, how satisfied are you with our project coordination and management? Here's the problem. The customer might be thrilled with your project coordination, but not so much with the management. If that's the case, they won't know how to answer the question. They'll be frustrated, and worse, they'll probably wonder about your competence. We don't want our customers wondering about our competence. Problem number 4, this template lets them opt out because it offers NA unsure as an option. If you give your customers a chance to opt out, probably as many as 20% will do so on a lot of your questions. That means you're not getting the information you need to make more money. Because the more people you hear from, the better you understand your customers, the more money you make. Well, there are 2 ways to avoid this problem. Number 1, in some surveys you can program what we call a skip pattern. Let's say you're going to ask your customers how satisfied they are with a particular product. Instead of putting not applicable as an option, ask a question first that says, did you buy this product? Everybody who says yes gets a satisfaction question. Everybody who says no skips out of that to the next question. That's why we call it a skip pattern. There's an even simpler way to avoid this problem though, and that is program your survey so that it allows people to skip the question. It doesn't force them to give a response. If you do that, you can get the NA unsure out of there and they aren't being prompted to opt out. Problem number 5, they missed a golden opportunity to ask for testimonials. They used a good satisfaction question, would you recommend our services to a colleague, but they missed the follow-up. We have a testimonial generator that starts with a question like this and then asks the respondent to tell us what it is they'd say about the product or the service. That's a great way to get testimonials. I used that with a client recently to get more than 100 testimonials for her. And now our customers are using this testimonial generator template to get the proof they need that their products and their services work. If you want more information like this, if you want more tips, we can give you 20 free videos that will help you do better surveys to get the information you need from your customers to make more money. And you can get that information today by going to www.mysurveyexpert.com/free.